Here we are, another ZoeTV show. Yes, it's
exciting.
always
We only
exciting.
got 26 minutes, so we got to go because we've got two amazing interviews.
Right.
So,
some of our favorite people.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, so our first guest is Joan Abbey, and she has literally changed our work lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the residents' home lives.
The prototypical behind-the-scenes puppet master of everything that happens on this campus.
Right. She
all from
is,
Prescott.
She's Prescott.
Pulling the strings from Prescott.
Yeah, she
puppet
is
master.
the lucky one.
You like that?
We
the
have
puppet
to
master.
figure out how to get a place somewhere else for the summer when it's cool.
That's
But anyway, I would like to introduce to everybody out there Joan Abbey, our grant writer. And she has quite the background. I mean, she didn't just fall into this year. Yeah. She came by grant writing, honestly, and she has a great resume. So, Joan, welcome.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
We're happy you are, too.
We are happy to have you. You, like you say, you guys work together so like this.
Yes.
I think background's important. How did you nab someone from this level of sophistication to come work with this team?
I do want to say this. I got a whole bunch of, applications, and this, Jones didn't rise to the top when HR was looking through them at first, but I said, let me take a look at those. And I saw her in her background, and she has taught grant writing. So I went, yep, she's the one. I met her and realized
she's the one.
She was the exact right fit. So
that's awesome. How long ago was that?
Was it
February? I started in February of 2019. 2018.
Okay. I thought it was 18.
Yeah.
I think it was 18.
Time flies,
19.
especially with the pandemic.
Yes.
Especially the pandemic.
Yes.
We lost a year. It's 18.
Yes. So tell us, Joan. I know because I read the resume, but tell us where you came from, when you came here, and I know you were here. You lived here at one time.
That's
had
right.
Family here.
That's
so tell
right.
us your story.
Okay. Well, as Kay says, I graduated from Apollo High in Glendale. I lived in Glendale as a teenager. And then I got scholarships to the University of Michigan and wound up going back to Michigan and going to school. And then one thing led to another, and I wound up working there and, all that kind of stuff. Still had a ton of family in the Valley. Came back to Arizona when I retired from the university. And during the time at the university, I was doing a lot of organizational capacity development for nonprofits and a lot of grant writing.
Okay.
To fund research projects and program projects and taught grant writing classes and so forth for the School of Social Work at U of M. And moved back here to Prescott Valley. Most of my family's still in the Valley of the Sun. Go Suns.
Oh. Yeah.
So I was online and I saw Kay's posting and I said, well, that sounds kind of interesting. And I came down and I interviewed and we hit it off like instantly. And then when I was walking around campus, I realized that in the early 80s, my mother lived here.
Oh my.
I know.
Wow.
And you hadn't thought of that.
I hadn't thought of it because
here.
it had been so long. And, I'm old and I forget stuff. But when I saw the casitas, I remembered her, her little casita that she lived in.
Wow.
And it just all came flooding back. And I thought, well, if that isn't the hand of the Lord and my mother, I don't know what it is. So it just seemed just kind of serendipitous.
Oh. That's a cool backstory right there.
Yes, and something that I think you all know because I brag about this all the time, but Joan has written so many grants for the projects you've been able to do and the Performance Center and Zoe Life and ZIP and PIP.
Exactly.
And she's also the main reason we have so much funding for the food pantry.
Yeah,
and 165,000 to date.
Amazing.
And a lot of it is, the relationships we've made and her amazing ability to write it and put it in a certain amount of words.
I think that is the art? I know nothing about grant writing other than we throw a lot on your plate of wishes that we have and programs we want to fund. And,
yes,
but
you do.
the ability to condense down all the verbiage vomit that we throw at you in terms of here's what we think, and I give you 9 pages of ideas, and you're like, I got 500 words. Dude.
Yes.
Like, you got to bring this down. And you're amazing at it. I mean, I watched what you turn in. It's like, well, it's no wonder we're getting money because it's well written. It's awesome.
Well, thank you.
And it's a true skill and talent. I mean, I did it for 10 years, and I can tell you she runs circles around my work. So,
Well, it's an art and a science, but it's also a passion. And if I didn't believe in what Glencroft was doing and the benefit that it has for the residents from the work that we do collectively, because it really is a teamwork
it is teamwork.
effort, and teamwork makes the dream work.
That's
So
right.
that's really a big part of it. And I think, I'm so happy I've been able to help the Performance Center.
Yeah.
But I think the thing I'm most proud of is the work we've, collectively been able to do for the food bank.
Yep.
And, I come down, as you know, I'm always trying to get data to report back to the funders about what it is that we're doing and how it's having an impact. And I come down and I survey the participants in the food bank, and it's just so rewarding and so touching to hear their stories about what it means to them.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, and we are in the process of working towards funding for the walking path.
That's
And,
correct.
I mean, between Steve's initiatives to get people out moving and the amazing enthusiasm he's brought to this campus for our residents to move in any capacity, and started this whole walking, competition. We can say competition now. And really getting people involved, and then they're excited about what we're hoping through your grant writing to bring to that path.
Yeah.
So we are a team. It really is true. We couldn't do it by ourselves.
That's right.
In ZoeLife, and seeing our residents be as active as they are, and just has really kind of made me think differently about movement and aging.
Yes.
And it's really an inspiration to
That's
me,
super cool.
What
I think has got to be fun, and you just kind of hit it, is the fact that we've never been one to say, hey, let's do a program, let's market the heck out of it, but we don't really do it. Like, there's so many facilities that we see have really good marketing taglines and a brochure, and they say they're doing all these things, but we're actually doing them. And what I think is helpful for you, and because we've had this conversation, is that when you get the testimonials and you get that anecdotal data of this is really impacting my life, and then I send you 100 photos backing up this walking path and backing up the virtual reality. And I think that's where you move the needle with grant writing and funding, is we're actually using the money that's get allocated, and we're actually doing what we say we're going to do with it.
Right. And Steve and I live on the comments like, it changed my life, where we need someone like you that says, okay, how is that done? Let's write this down. Let's take, notes on
Document the
specifics.
process.
Let's document it, and then we can show people, because us saying, oh, it's life-changing is true, but it's not all the facts. So we need someone like you to rein us in with more of the hard facts. And the real truth is they're there. I mean, this program and the funding has really changed lives on this campus.
Yeah, well, it's changed my life.
Okay, so just because I don't know about it, and I know our viewers are probably interested, like, during COVID, grant writing didn't change. You obviously had to fund the food bank, and you pivoted to a lot of other areas, but the application process, the meeting, the eye-to-eye contact you have with funders and your relationships, how did that change through COVID?
Well, we didn't do a lot of eye-to-eye other than on Zoom.
Right.
And so it's so nice to be eye-to-eye with people again. But yeah, the focus did change more to the food bank and other things.
The telemedicine, too.
And telemedicine was a big thing. We wrote a lot of grants last year, and thank our funders, BHHS Legacy, Della Webb Foundation, public-private partnerships we had with the state that really helped us purchase the equipment we needed for that program. That was really awesome that they came through like that, and we were able to have that kind of partnership. So things changed in terms of the focus a lot. The activity of what I do didn't really change too much. But I do have to say, COVID resulted in the gym I go to closing. And when you sent me those pictures, of our residents out there with, free weights and stuff, and inspired me to go buy a set of free
There you
weights.
go, see?
And so I'm doing free weights,
Yeah.
That is
during
cool.
COVID.
Yeah.
So that was one of the changes that happened in my work due to COVID.
Well, what's
That's
fun with
awesome.
COVID, we always talk about silver linings of COVID and creating the walking moais and these teams that we don't like to use the word competed, but we had fun with it, and they competed for miles and steps and all that.
Yeah.
But what came out of that was we wanted to move the needle on the current walking path. We have such great 40 acres, and we do have our north-south, and Ross and Activities did a great job marking it. We got Ronnie on the maps, but how could that look? How could we change that even better? And that's where you're working so hard on the grants to fund equipment out there and take what we did during COVID, because our residents did like being outside and taking a lot of our best practices of the Performance Center and how they're moving in there and working on their posture and their gait and being purposeful on the path of there's mirrors and you're not just walking the path. You're purposeful and strategic on how you use it. So you're playing a huge hand in that.
Well, and I would be remiss if I didn't say this, because it is kind of that when you have to spend money on your roof at home, you're like, oh, that's a lot of money and nobody notices. Well, Joan is responsible for writing the $195,000 city of block grant from the city of Glendale to get the Providence Place elevators replaced and repaired. And that's a huge win. Those are tough, competitive grants. And to be even chosen, we were celebrating just to be in the finalist, and then to get awarded that kind of money. Those are the things that change lives too. We can't live without elevators in our skilled nursing. So thank you. That was a skill that we needed.
My
and
pleasure.
You came through, and she got another block grant for $30,000 this year for the food pantry. So the campus is a better place because
1,000%.
Joan works here.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you. But again, it's a team effort.
Yes.
I couldn't do what I do without your support and all
Well,
the
we've
input
got
I
about
get.
1 minute left. We want to know a little more about you. What does Joan do for fun besides writing grants? You live in Prescott, which is beautiful. Are you
house is
outdoor
beautiful.
adventure person? You hike in the hills? You go to Sedona? Like, what do you do on a free day?
I try to get out and do a morning walk every day.
Okay.
And yes, I do like
With
to
your
hike.
free weights?
I haven't done that, but that's a good idea. And I'm a member of the Highland Center, so I go over there and hike a lot.
Okay.
And there are hiking trails off of my neighborhood, so I use those as well. My sort of mental health therapy is gardening.
Okay.
So since I moved there and bought my house, I've put in like 7 trees, 12 bushes, 5 flower beds.
That is so fun.
And a friend of mine just
That's
built me a
after me.
big 10-foot by 4-foot by 22 deep vegetable raised garden. I almost brought you guys some fresh zucchini.
You know
What
what?
the heck?
You're talking our language.
Yeah, we love the green
We
thumb.
love trees and plants and gardens and
So
We do.
that's my mental health and fun activity.
All right, and then my last question, is Suns Mania alive up in Prescott?
Oh God, yeah.
Is it just going bananas?
Yeah.
I mean, we are obviously the valley, but like,
Yeah.
is it contagious up the hill a few hours?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
It's-
you
it
were
is
here-
in my circle. And when I grew up here,
Yeah.
the Suns were the only professional sports
go.
team
Yep, we talk
Arizona
about that all the
had.
time with our
we didn't
residents.
have the
Yep.
Diamondbacks. We didn't have the Cardinals. So I've been a Suns fan for long before I was a Detroit Pistons fan when I moved back into Michigan. But I'm still a bit of a Pistons fan. But yeah, I got Suns mania, and a lot of my friends do. And
This is going to be a big week for
I
this
gotta
town.
ask one question on that, because my mom used to take us to the airport when the Suns would fly in from
Ooh,
away
cool.
games, because you could walk out on the tarmac.
oh yeah, back in the day.
And we were little, but I was barely born back in the day when the Suns came to town. But I would crawl out on the tarmac. No, but my mom would take us, and it was the biggest deal in town, and it feels like that again.
It does.
yeah. No,
So
it's very
exciting.
Yeah,
Very
we are.
exciting.
I think this is going to be a big week for this town. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's
Okay.
Monday. We don't know where it's headed, but it's headed towards the title. We know that
We do.
because we kind of like your puppet strings of the campus. We're puppet strings of the Suns.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll leave
well,
it at
keep it up, guys.
You're
Keep it up.
welcome.
You got good mojo.
Keep up that
All right,
third
Joan,
quarter
you're amazing.
magic.
We're going to
You
let you
are
go so
amazing.
you can go get carpal tunnel writing these grants.
All right. Well, thank you, guys.
Appreciate you. We love this segment. Our
yes, we
new
do.
resident spotlight. And this one's a little odd because she's not very new to me.
Well,
But we thought,
no.
she is a new resident. At the end of the day, she's a resident. I happen to be related,
Yes.
but she's a resident.
You're the
That
lucky
means she pays her dues and she walks around this place like she owns it.
Yep.
Like all our residents
Like you.
should. Yeah, yeah.
Well, sure, that's where she learned it.
So we have my mom, Jeanie Heller,
Woohoo!
and you're here. You didn't want to do this.
Thank you.
thought-
Well, I didn't know anything about it
I
until,
know.
I don't know,
But
an
you
hour
watched
ago.
our show. You knew what you were getting into.
And you knew it would be like that. 'cause
Eventually.
That's how we tell everybody.
Yeah, we like to not let you prep.
Right.
If
So
you
not to
prep in
be
advance,
worried.
it's not natural.
Right.
We tell everybody about an hour out.
Well, I didn't prep. So.
There we go. All right, you're here. Now let the viewers know a little bit about how you got here, because it was a crazy year.
It was a crazy year for me. Was pretty ill
Oh,
in the
That's an understatement, yes.
fall and winter. So I came the middle of November from rehab and did it kind of on a temporary basis till I could decide what I wanted to do, for sure. And so I made that wonderful decision not too long ago. Got moved into a different unit. That's going well. I've still got a lot of cleaning out of my house in Tucson to do, but it'll happen. So.
well, I have a question about moving in. I have a comment first. I mean, Steve has the most beautiful eyes ever, and you also. I know that's where he got them, but it's hard not to just stare at your eyes. But the other thing is the piano. Oh my gosh, did you get to move your baby grand?
No.
Oh.
Well, there just isn't room.
I know, so
I mean, it would take up, and I'd have to sleep on top of it. You know, there's just no room.
I know, was that
But she
so,
brought a piano.
so
But I
hard?
brought my
You brought
smaller
your-
piano.
And that one's yours since you were a child, right?
Yes.
Tell that story. How long have you had?
Well, I have a picture sitting on my piano, that black and white photo of me sitting at that piano that I brought up, and in my mom's handwriting, which is kind of cool.
Yes.
It says, "New piano for Christmas, 1952."
Oh,
And I'm sitting there. I was 9.
yes.
Ooh, that's telling my age, isn't it?
Well, if you can do math, most of us can't, so it's okay.
So yeah, I've had that one a long, long time, and I had a friend that moved into a similar kind of place like Glencroft some while back, and she said, "Jeanie, don't ever get rid of your little piano,"
No.
because she did and regretted it. So I thought, well, all right.
And you play beautifully. I mean,
thank
you know, I told you I just started piano lessons last October, and it's hard.
It is hard,
Oh,
of course.
And
Anything worthwhile is kind of hard.
right, well, and you know, it's like learning a new language, which is why I decided to do it. But when I saw you play, and I've seen videos, and I looked at your book of the songs that you put together, I mean, it is so impressive.
Well, she's got her own CD.
I know.
Don't tell those things.
It's true.
See, that's why we don't tell you what we're going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Okay.
she's very musical. She directed choruses, right? I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
did.
good
I
stuff.
had a choral group in Tucson for about 12 years.
Okay.
So we went out to places like Glencroft and, did concerts all over
And
town.
did you start it, or how
I
did
did.
that come to be?
Well, it started out as an IBM chorus. And so therefore it could only have IBM members.
Were you working at IBM?
Yes.
Okay.
And only IBMers or their family. Well, so we couldn't get any new talent. We kind of ran out of talent.
Okay.
After a while. And so we broke away from IBM and just kind of went off on our own. And then we could accept some money to do it and buy music, which is very expensive.
Yes.
Yes, it is. But so, I did that for 12 years.
Man.
It was a lot of work, though. While working, I was working lots and lots of hours
Now,
at
what
IBM.
And what were you doing for IBM?
Well, I was in management for about 25 years.
Wow.
And they moved me around to different locations. I kind of became a fix-it kind of person, I think.
Wow.
Because they would move me to places, and
You'd fix
we'd
them
get
up.
it fixed, and never let me sit on my laurels, though. That would have been kind of nice. Then they moved me somewhere else. So that's,
that's-
kind of what my background is. Met my husband there,
Oh.
Steve's dad.
Okay.
His sister introduced us. She got to matchmaking.
Nice.
I worked with her. So,
Awesome.
yeah. So we were married for 40 years. So wonderful, wonderful.
So there you go, IBM. All right, now her other passion besides music is golf, and that's how I became a golfer. She's a good golfer.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, like a good
So,
golfer.
yeah, I know she's a good golfer, but I didn't realize it went from her
Well, my dad
to
played
you.
golf, but she played
Okay.
golf, but like a good golf. Like she beat him all the time, right? Like, yeah.
Well, I did. I beat him on our first date. We played golf on our first date. I've told this story to a couple of people. And I beat him. And the cool thing was he called me up and asked me to go do it again. I thought that was a pretty cool guy.
Absolutely. Did you beat him the second time?
I don't remember,
Oh.
but I remember beating him. No, we just played about the same. So I would sometimes, he would sometimes.
Now, where
We played
did you play?
thousands.
Where did you start your golf
In
career?
Denver.
Okay.
I grew up in Denver.
Okay.
And my mom, bless her heart, drove me out to this little club that my dad's company bought us a membership in. And it was a brand new little club. And so I wanted to play golf, and my mom had to drive all the way across Denver,
Wow, that's a big.
probably about 25 miles, and then she would go home. And at the end of the day, she would come out and get me and go home. So she probably drove 100 miles a day so I could play golf. And I probably never even said thank you.
Well,
You know how kids are.
no, I do. And how old were you when you started golf?
14.
14. Okay, and you played. You kept it up.
I did. I quit playing for about 10 years. Had to get jobs so I could go to school. And then when Paul and I met, we started playing again.
Yes.
And so he and I probably played thousands of rounds of golf over the years.
Oh,
So
and here we are, full circle, and you're back out
here I am.
playing with your son. I love.
I know.
Yep, we've
It's
been
a
out.
great story.
Yeah, that wigwam's been fun to bring her and then bring everybody that goes with us. But we actually, in this last week, we had Fox 10 News out. And they caught wind of what we were doing, and they were like, we want to do a segment on the Parkinson's golfers. And so she got a lot of airtime on that, and as a lot of our residents did. It was just fun. But it's all the instructors out there are blown away when they see her swing. And then here she died 3 times on the table at Mayo last year.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you probably don't want to get into that or think about that, but wow, we
Well,
were
you can't
praying.
not think about
We were
that.
praying for you for it
I
felt
know.
like a long time. You were
And that's a
so,
good thing.
so sick,
Yeah.
and to see you,
You know,
come back.
I give him credit, really, for saving my life.
Yes.
Because he didn't often come down to Tucson to see me. I would come up to see everybody.
Right.
And he came down one weekend by himself. Mom, can I come down and see you? Well, sure. So he comes down and he says, oh my God, Mom.
Yeah.
I mean, I had stopped eating. It was kind of a sad situation. So anyway, he took charge. But if he hadn't come down, I
Yes.
don't know. I probably wouldn't have made it.
Well,
but I did,
glad
and
he
here
did.
I am.
Yes, and we're glad you're here.
And I love Glencroft, let me say. I really, really do. The people here are fantastic,
I know.
both staff and residents. Very, very friendly and helpful and so forth. And so many activities.
I know.
Now that it's opened back up a little bit, so much to do. And
Well, it had to be hard to leave Tucson with your established friends
well, that's true. It was, but
because
It had
but
to be
you've
done.
made new friends. I mean, I see you. You're never alone. So
oh, that's true.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, she's a social butterfly, but she jumped right in, and I think that's what's cool is I'll see her floating around campus with all sorts of activities and things and dressed up, and she's working out. You're in the performance center, you've done the art class, you're on the Magic Box waiting list. I get yelled
I'm
at
on the waiting
'cause
list.
I haven't
I keep
picked her
waiting
name.
to hear my
But it's
name.
a fair shot. Your
Yeah.
name's in the hat. There's nothing I can do.
That's true.
No, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, that's right. That's
But
it.
I wait with bated breath, and then I
Yeah, I know. Me too. And you know what? My name isn't even in the hat, and I
You
wait.
still wait. You
I
still
still
hope.
wait and still
Maybe.
go. Hey, so is there anything you want to ask her? This is like the time. Anything you don't know that?
I think I know pretty much everything.
Oh, well,
I know
that
a
makes
lot.
sense with you.
I know that she has the ability to go to any other senior living property in the world. I mean, she can go do that. And when I said Glencroft needs to be here in my back pocket, that's a no-brainer. But I was so confident in Glencroft providing
Yes.
every resource she would need to be happy. And I couldn't say that about a lot of other ones out there. I know we're doing it the right way, and especially with COVID and being safe, I know that there was no place I'd rather put her than in this
Well,
place
that's
right
right.
here.
Because this happened during COVID when you were
yes.
so sick
yeah,
and
I came
isolated.
here last November.
Yes.
So
So
Yeah.
Well,
but,
we're glad.
You know, thank you. I'm very, very happy here. I just will be glad to finish up all my Tucson stuff, sell the
Yeah.
house, and
And so
on.
you'll sell the piano?
Well, that's a whole nother story.
Oh,
I mean, yes, I will have to do that, but not getting a whole lot for it, which kind of breaks
I
my
know.
heart.
Isn't that? But that's with everything you go to resell that mattered
I
so
know,
much.
I
And
know.
yeah.
No. And I didn't want to ask too much because last week we asked a little bit and got a little more than we bargained for with the mafia talk. So there's some things that are just best left
You're right.
unsaid.
But
know what I'm
not
saying, Kay?
the Suns. We can talk about
Oh,
that.
we can't talk about Suns. You're ready for a Suns championship. We've
Oh,
lived
yeah.
out here. Tucson.
Yeah.
You didn't have a team in Tucson, so we've been supporting the Suns since the 80s. So
Yes.
we're all in. This is going to be a big week. That title's coming, I'm telling you.
It
We
is.
didn't wear a jersey, so if they lose,
Oh,
it's kind of on us.
now we didn't think about that. Okay.
All right. Well, very good. I think this has been wild having you here. But that's what
Thank
it's all
you.
about. It's
Thank
awesome.
you.
It's fun.
Oh, gosh. It was fun.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.